when I started this channel, this was predominantly psychedelic channel. I talked a lot about psychedelics in the early stages, and you can go to my oldest videos and you'll see plenty of psychedelic videos there. And in fact, this may surprise some of you guys, especially the new subscribers. I have what 1,400 and something videos here, roughly. 1,300, 1,400, something like that, maybe a little bit more. I don't know. I lost track. And maybe I'm just ballparking here. Maybe out of those 1,400 videos, maybe 800, 900 videos, I made them under the influence of psychedelics in the form of microdosing or mid-dosing. I call it no man's land dose, right? If a microdose of a tab would be something like 1/6, I'd take 1/3 or something like that, right? So I started off this channel. There was a lot of psychedelic content back then, and I was almost always on psychedelics in one form or another, in one dose or another, right? And so these substances have played a huge role in my life. A huge role. Okay? I have stopped ingesting psychedelics. The last time I did was roughly 3 months ago, and it was a mid dose, right? About a third, I think, a third of a tab, or half. I took half. I think when I was in Poland, I did psychedelics 3 times. Right before then, I didn't do it for like 7 months. I stopped for 6-7 months. Then when I was in Poland, I was in Poland for 3 months. I did it 3 times. So I'm not using these substances the way I was for a good 3.5-4 years or so. I was using it a lot. Okay, a lot. Think about it. More than half these videos on this channel, maybe like 2/3 or something, I made them under the influence of these really powerful and useful substances. So, after hundreds of tabs of LSD and maybe also hundreds of grams of mushrooms, what do I think about psychedelics? What is my stance on psychedelics here? What do I think? What perspective can I offer you guys here? And this is just my perspective, right? It's only my perspective. What perspective can I offer here? First of all, I am eternally grateful for these substances. They have completely changed my life. They have taught me more than any human have taught me. You know, truth be told, my greatest teachers in this life so far have been psychedelics. And I am forever grateful, and I do not regret a single dose, a single gram, a single tap that I have used. Not a single one. Everyone was perfect, was wanted and necessary for my growth, for my evolution. What perspective can I offer you guys on this though? What can I say about this? Well, I think, my perspective, my opinion, that these substances are to be used infrequently and with great intention behind it. I don't think nature intended these substances, and of course LSD is the synthesized form. I don't think these substances were intended by nature to be used frequently, and I'll tell you why in a second. I think it was intended to be used infrequently and with purpose, with intention in mind. Why is that? Because the use of these substances, the frequent, consistent use, like using them like diet, like we basically eat almost every day or every other day or even every 3 days, right? Still, that's using them pretty much regularly. Has consequences. It has consequences, folks. These, to talk about LSD, but also mushrooms, I think mushrooms too, sativa mushrooms. Certainly for LSD, it is called acid, isn't it? It's called acid. Now, it is, when you take, for instance, LSD, there are certain physiological things that are happening inside your body. Of course, your perception changes, but certain things are happening in your body. And if you have dabbled with psychedelics long enough, maybe not even long enough, you will know something. You get dehydrated. Now that's a huge, now in my books now, in this Saeed now, of today, of now, right here, right now, that is a huge red alert when something dehydrates you. Because when something dehydrates you, it's sucking life out of you. Because life on planet Earth needs sunshine and water. When something sucks water out of you, it is sucking life out of you. To me, that is a huge red alert. And when I began to be more, funnily, the paradox and the irony of this is I began to be more conscious of what's happening in my body because of the use of, because being constantly high on these substances, I began to be more conscious of what happens in my body. And I realized whenever I took psilocybin, whenever I took LSD, I felt thirsty. And I grabbed for water, and no matter how much water I drank, I kept feeling more and more thirsty. Which led me to the conclusion that these things are making me more thirsty. You know, and another thing is the increase the heart rate, right? So you have an increased heart rate, a dehydrated state, that can't be good for you. So that told me right there and then that nature intended these substances to be used infrequently and with great purpose and with great intention and with great preparation and with great recovery in mind. You have to recover from these substances. They make you thirsty, make you dehydrated, increase your heart rate, stimulate your nervous system, act on your serotonin receptors, interfere with the natural flow of serotonin in the body. There has to be a recovery period. Excuse me, folks. There has to be a recovery period then from the use of these substances. So I say now, if you're gonna use a psychedelic, it's a 5-day affair. You prepare for 2 days, you do it for 1 day, you recover for 2 days. These substances can also interfere with your sleep cycles. One second. Okay, folks, I am back. I'm kicking deep into a dry fasted state, and I can begin to feel. I can begin to feel the purging effects of the dry fast. Dry fasting is incredibly powerful, and when you dig deeper into it, you begin to feel the purging effects of it. So I'm feeling the purging effects take hold right now. So as I was saying, they interfere with your sleep cycles. They interfere with your, excuse me. Here we are again. Okay, so as I was saying, these substances interfere with your sleep cycles, with your sleeping patterns. Sometimes they'll keep you up too much because they stimulate you so much, right? They'll keep you up. You can't sleep. You won't be able to sleep. And if you're ever gonna do, for instance, microdosing or mid-dosing, get up and take it right away, because if you take it a little bit later on the day, there's a good chance you're gonna stay up, right? You're gonna stay up. Another thing is they interfere with your digestive process, and this is something I did not want to accept. But after careful observation, I realized that happens, and you might tell you, I mean, actually, what am I saying? This is just not just me observing this. People say all the time when they take mushrooms they feel nauseous. Same with LSD, right? So there are certain physiological consequences that happen from taking these substances. That's why I came to the conclusion that nature intended them to be used infrequently. You prepare for them, you take 2-3 days to prepare, do some fasting, lighten up the diet, meditation, sleep, rest. Then you do it on the day off, and then you take 2-3 days to rest, recover, sleep, take it easy, take it slow, allow your nervous system to recover, hydrate yourself, sleep, meditate, etc. to recover, and also contemplate on the lessons. Anything that makes you dehydrated, anything that stimulates your nervous system, anything that interferes with your sleeping patterns, interferes with your stomach, interferes with the pH balance of your blood, is not something you want to do frequently. Is my own personal opinion, is my own personal conclusion from quite a bit of experience now with these beautiful, wonderful teachers, wonderful psychedelic substances. Another ironic thing is that these substances have told me that you actually don't need anything. Not only do you need us, you don't need us, but you don't even really need food. And I don't know how quickly I would have accepted the truth behind the breatharian knowledge had I not been under the influence of these substances. See, when I found out about breatharianism, I was like pretty much lucid out of my mind in those days, right? And when I came to grasp that, I was like, oh, it makes so much sense. That's right. We're infinite consciousness. We are not needing anything. We are light beings. Of course, if we don't eat, we're gonna live longer. We're gonna be healthier. Of course, fasting is gonna cleanse the body, etc., etc. Of course, we're plugged into subtler forms of energy. It all made sense to me, like instantly, right? So the funny thing is these substances, they're really intelligent because there's a self-destruct mechanism behind them, because they tell you, look, you can walk now. They self-destruct. So they teach you how to walk, and then they tell you, all right, you don't need the crutches no more. I mean, think about it. If you had a boat, and you were to cross some ocean or some, let's say you're about to cross the ocean, right? And it's a one-way ocean. And then you get on the boat, and it takes you like 3 weeks to cross the ocean, right? And you got there, that's it. Now, do you still carry the boat with you? That would be pretty silly, right? This big giant boat. How are you gonna carry that to begin with? That's it, the boat got you there. Leave the boat where it belongs and continue. March on, move forward. And that's the same thing with these substances, really. They're sort of like crutches. They wake you up to certain things. They humble you. They make you realize how little you know, how much more there is to learn. They give you wisdom. They make you feel love. They make you feel compassion. They show you certain things, and they say, all right, you can walk now. On your own you go. Because if you keep carrying that boat, that's a burden now. And if you keep using these substances regularly, that's a burden. That's a burden, right? It's affecting, it has negative consequences on your physiology and probably on your brain in the long run, actually, Can't be too good to fuck around and play around with the serotonin receptors, because these psychedelics, they play on the serotonin receptors. Can't be good for you to keep messing around with the natural flow of serotonin. Can't be good to constantly stimulate the nervous system like that. So that's my perspective, that's my opinion. I cherish these molecules, these substances forever, and from time to time I continue to use them. We got plenty of San Pedro here in Ecuador, so I'm here for 6 months. If I reach for my crystal ball right here, then I see me using it maybe once while I'm here, right? Just to get the experience and see how it is. And but yeah, I really think nature intended them for infrequent use with great intention. Set and setting, folks. I have so many videos on how to prepare for a psychedelic trip. I have a playlist. Go on my playlists. I have a playlist called Psychedelics. I have so many videos there, detailed, over 20 minutes per video, talking about proper preparation. And maybe I have another video coming up for the new subscribers, or for people who have missed out on those videos, or people who want to just hear the message again from new perspective. Also on recovery. I don't think I made too many videos on recovery from a trip. because that's very important as well. Integration and recovery. So maybe I will have videos on that in the future. If you would like to see that, please leave me in the comments, okay? I haven't made videos on psychedelics in a long time. Other than that, God bless you all, guys. I love you. Special thanks to the Patreons for your continued support, your continued financial support. Special thanks to the people who send us generous one-time donations on PayPal. If you would like to donate this or that, Patreon or one-time donations on PayPal, I have links for both in the description. Much love. Keep watching. I love you guys. And until next time, may the force be with you.